What's up, everybody? Welcome to All Soccer All Day. It's your boy Stevie Mack out here in Chicago, and with me, as always, in Los Angeles, Eric D. What's going down, man?
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. So before we get started, as always,
should I say good day?
I guess it is good day. It's, good evening. Yeah. We're recording. Good day when you're listening, I guess. Could be good evening. Maybe someone's listening to it at night. I don't know.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Good time.
Good time. Good time. Some people like to listen to their pods late at night, bro.
That's
Maybe
true.
they want to sleep to it. Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what. Before we get into anything football related, let's just go ahead and give a big shout out to all our patrons. Thank you guys so much. You really assist us in being able to do this, and we have a good time doing it, and your support means everything. So big up to all our Patreon supporters. If you'd like to help us out on Patreon, please, we'd much appreciate it. $1 a month goes a long way, actually. So patreon.com/allsoccerallday. Check it out. Hook us up if you want. If not, that's cool. You can always just leave us a 5-star rating wherever you're listening to us, and that also really helps us. So 5-star rating, little Patreon support is awesome. Or just tell your friends about us, whatever you want to do, man. So thank you very much there. And, of course, before we get into the news and notes, Eric D., you got anything else you want to shout out there before we get started?
Wando!
Dude.
One more year.
Chris Wondolowski signs for one more year with the San Jose Earthquakes, man. The dude just can't leave it alone. I don't blame him. I understand. No. Who knows? Maybe we'll see a resurgence of Landon Donovan again. You never know.
Look. I think he's looking at Joseph Martinez. He's like, man, this dude is going to break my record.
Dude, Joseph Martinez is going off, bro.
Yeah, I mean...
He has 60-plus goals in 2 seasons.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, Wando's trying to put the record out of reach, but I don't think it's going to happen. I mean, Joseph is crazy. I mean, granted, Wando has the longevity, and that's why he's where he's at. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's MLSer for life, been in the league since, San Jose was in Houston.
It's been a long time.
Because he was...
I don't even remember. That's how long it's been. That's messed up.
I don't think he was with San Jose before they went to Houston. I think he just was in Houston, and then I don't remember. He used to play for Houston Dynamo at one time, but now he's with San Jose, so he's been in the league a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, and he's also been scoring goals for a long time, no doubt. So he's the MLS all-time leading scorer. He's got one more year in him, I guess. So we'll see him tack on a few more. I mean, like I said, man, big ups to him if he wants to play, man. Like, I get it. If he's quality enough to be out there and he's still scoring, then all right, But to that point with Joseph Martinez, man, like, this dude is. I mean, it's crazy right now, the numbers he put up in the last 2 seasons. Obviously, Carlos Vela, topping the record and everything like that is insane in itself. And also, we've talked about this before. Carlos Vela, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and Joseph Martinez all up there with 30-plus goals. I mean, that's some serious jump from what we've had, and we've mentioned this before.
Yes. What we used to have, for sure.
I mean, and so I think it bodes really well for the league because, you're starting to see more excitement as far as goal scoring and such. There's always that like 2-sided debate where other people will be like, yeah, obviously the defense is garbage, blah. But you know what? The goals that you see in the MLS, a lot of them are absolutely spectacular. And if they were in any other league around the world, people would be losing their minds, okay? So if you step back for a second and, just look at what's going on here play-wise and the shots that are being taken and the beautiful play that's going on, hopefully it gives you a little bit of a different perspective on what's going down. Because if you got 3 guys that are scoring 30-plus goals, that means that these guys are putting away some pretty crazy goals. And obviously, all three of these guys have just absolute bangers and absolute amazing goals that they've scored, dribbling wise or whatever it is that they're doing. Bicycle kicks from Zlatan, like, dude, just crazy stuff, man. I mean, Carlos Vela dribbling down the middle of the pitch and taking on 5 dudes, and dude, stuff like that, man. Joseph Martinez too. I mean, he scored some absolutely Dude, did you see his left foot curler? He just scored that left foot curler? Dude, get out of here, dude. I don't care what league you're in. You score that thing, and it was just money. 100% money. No one was stopping that, dude. It's disgusting, bro.
Too legit to quit.
Yeah, man. So, anyway, news and notes-wise, honestly, there's not a whole lot going on. Everything's just pretty much speculation and all that kind of stuff, except for Wando, woo-woo.
Yes, sir.
So there you go. Before we get into the Premier League, we want to give a big shout out to our sponsor. This next section of the podcast is brought to you by Diversity Wine. Diversity Wine was opened by Bradford Taylor, Mac Parsons, and Anne-Marie Myers in May of 2018. It has sister shops, Ordinaire in Oakland and Psychic Wines in Los Angeles. And Diversity Wine specializes in natural wines, which means wines that are made by real humans with grapes that are farmed organically and then fermented naturally in the cellar with no additives. So they're keeping it real as you can possibly get. Please support Diversity Wine. You can also check out their wine club, and it's just good stuff. So we really, really appreciate Diversity Wine and Ordinaire out in Oakland, and of course Psychic Wines out in Los Angeles. You guys hook it up, and we're gonna go into the Premier League, and we'll get it going from there.
Whoop! There it is, ready to get stuck in.
Yeah, let's do it. So first of all, let's go over some results from Matchday 9 of the Premier League. And we're going to kind of gloss over some of the more boring matches that went down, such as Bournemouth, Norwich, 0-0 draw. Wah, wah. Okay. Now, I will say Manchester City coming away with 3 points, 2-0 victory over Crystal Palace. Definitely needed because of the Northwest Derby, and we'll get into that in a second. Wolves, Southampton drawing 1-1. We had Leicester with the win over Burnley 2-1. Aston Villa with the win over Brighton 2-1. Everton 2-0 over West Ham United.
Some bangers in that one.
There were absolute bangers in that Everton. Gylfi Sigurdsson, right? Dude, his goal was so disgusting. We had a 1-0 victory with Chelsea at home against Newcastle. And then we had a 1-1 draw with Spurs and Watford, which is just, you just can't be having that happen.
Watford at the bottom of the table.
Dude, and they're coming away with a draw at Spurs. I mean, this is hurting, dude. This is hurting. Something is awry. Something is seriously awry, bro. But let's get into, the two main matches of this last match day of Match Day 9. The first one we'll go over actually just happened most recently was Sheffield United defeating Arsenal 1-0. And, I mean, it's just another slip-up. And I don't know, man. The big six right now are they're on thin ice, We talked about this. We talked about this at the beginning of the season, that it really looked like it was Liverpool, Man City up at the top, and then everyone else is kind of just who knows, right? And that's really more and more becoming how it looks. I mean, more and more as we go through this, we're seeing Manchester City and Liverpool kind of starting to pull away, and then you have the rest of the league just, duking it out with teams like Manchester United currently down at 14th. I mean, even saying that's super weird, but that's just how it is right now. I mean, Manchester United is currently tied with Everton. with 10 points. I mean, they have 10 points after 9 weeks, man. 10 points after 9 games. This is not Manchester United that people know. And
no, not at all.
So there's some definite room for improvement on a lot of these, quote, Big Six teams. But you know what? Hey, here's some parity in the league. You know, it's not necessarily as the objective, neutral fan. If you're watching this right now, you're not terribly upset about the fact that teams like Tottenham, Manchester United, Arsenal, they're kind of slipping up here and there, because hey, it makes it that much more exciting when you have games like this weekend between Liverpool and Tottenham. I mean, how big of a game is that for Tottenham? And not to mention it's a big game for Liverpool, but man, I mean, it's just doesn't get any easier, you know what I mean?
No, not at all. I mean, it's a good thing to see. As a neutral, it's, I guess if you don't really have a horse in the race, I don't know. Maybe if you're watching the Premier League, you have a club, but I think some people just maybe watch the Premier League just because it's high quality. It's good to see, but I mean, if anybody thinks anybody but Liverpool or Man City's winning the title,
oh, you're smoking doobies.
I would think they're crazy.
Like a lot of doobies that are laced.
But those other top spots, at least the other 2 top spots, and I guess the 5th spot, because it's it's a Europa League qualifying spot, or those look like they might be up for grabs, because Man U is, I don't know what they are. They're a mess. It seems like, and Tottenham is in a tailspin. Arsenal is arsenaling right now.
Yes, that's correct, man. They are arsenaling.
And I mean, Chelsea's the only one that, like, I feel like they have their ish together just a little bit.
I mean, I would say yes to that, and then at the same time, it's like it's still just unproven. You have Frank Lampard there. You have new young faces. Christian Pulisic is just getting a little bit of field time this last week. He hasn't gotten a start since, I don't even know, what, Matchday 2 or something like that. It's been many weeks since he's had a starting position. They're facing Burnley this upcoming Matchday 10, and I mean, for U.S. soccer fans, you really want to see him getting some minutes against teams like Burnley, Although Burnley's in 8th right now. It's not like, we always talk about this too. The Premier League, any team, any week can give you the business, man. I mean, Watford goes into Spurs and they draw them 1-1. You know what I mean? Like, it's just Norwich City gets a victory over Manchester City earlier this year. Like, it can happen, it can happen. But hey, man, if you're Chelsea and you have all this young talent, like, hopefully we start seeing that, I mean, maybe there was a plan here to rest guys certain ways. I mean, managers definitely have their vision of what they want to see over the course of the next month or 2 months or whatever. And so maybe that's what's playing out here. But you would really like to see Christian Pulisic get out there and hopefully score his first Premier League goal, man. It would be nice to see as a U.S. soccer fan, man.
Yeah, everyone's waiting for that. No doubt.
I mean, it's going to be a huge weight lifted off his shoulders, definitely, when finally the ball goes into the net. I mean, the confidence needs to happen, especially after this international break. That recently happened before this last match day, and being pulled and, all that kind of stuff that was going down. He needs a goal, man. He needs a goal badly. And so hopefully that happens this weekend for him. But, as you were saying, man, it does seem kind of up for grabs. I mean, you got Leicester City right now, actually ahead of Chelsea based on goal differential. They're in 3rd place right now. And Crystal Palace up at 6th place right now, 14 points, just 1 point behind Arsenal at this point. So these other teams they're making a play, man. They're trying to get in there. They're trying to do something. And so we'll continue to see what's going down. Do you have anything before we want to start getting into the next fixtures? Oh, well, of course we have to talk about Northwest Derby, but.
Well, yeah, of course. Well, a few things. Want to give credit to where credit's due. Sheffield United, they're in ninth place, mid-table now. They've looked pretty solid so far this season. They are kind of like the Wolves of last season.
Yeah. Not only that, but I have to say, piggyback on that. Props to them because not only do they beat Arsenal, but they gave Liverpool the business too. I mean, yeah. Sheffield United is not scared, bro.
No,
they're going in there. They're playing. They're not backing down from anything. They get 3 points out of this last match day because of that. I mean, it's all solid stuff for sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Besides Sheffield United. Watford's pretty surprising that they're at the bottom of the table. It seemed like just last season they were rather doing pretty well, and I made a lot of questions there on what's happened with them. So with that, going to segue into my relegation prediction.
Oh snap! Relegation predictions. I'm going to write this down.
For this season, so grab a pen and paper. I know you're eagerly anticipating this.
All right, I'm ready.
So I guess I'll start with the most obvious one. I'm just going to go with Watford, the first. I know it's low-hanging fruit, but
hey, man.
Yeah, they've got 4 points after 9 matches. They have yet to win a match, and it's
they have a negative 16 goal differential.
Yeah,
they're just getting scored on like crazy.
I don't know if they're going to pull out of this funk. Other than that, my other two are, in no particular order, that is, Southampton. Yeah, it looks like it might be in for Southampton. Although Brighton is right there, and they're very... I want to pick them, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with Southampton. I'm going to take go a little bit on the edge there.
So Southampton, Watford.
And this one is kind of like, it happens. They yo-yo. It's kind of sad because they should be much better because of the size of the club. I think I know what I think you know what I'm about to say. Newcastle United.
Yeah.
Is the last club. And that's, like I said, it's unfortunate because I think Newcastle... The size of that club, where they're at, they should own that area. They should be a bigger club. Like, they should be on the level of some of the bigger clubs in the league.
I mean, it doesn't get any easier, man. You're in the Premier League. You're in the top flight in English football. And, dude, someone's got to get relegated. And if you aren't on you ain't on your game.
And so with that, Manchester United supporters, breathe easy. You're not going to get relegated.
Oh, you leaving them out. I see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I don't see it happening either. I mean, it would be absolutely insane if Manchester United was relegated. But speaking of Manchester United, kind of segue into the Northwest Derby this last weekend. Manchester United, Liverpool at Old Trafford. Man, this is, we called this last week that it was a classic trap game for Liverpool.
Yes, we did.
But not only a trap game, really. Everyone knows these are bitter rivals. Anytime, I mean, you said this to me while we were watching, that Manchester United's pride is on the line here. Yes. This is not just 3 points here. It's not like Manchester United's playing Newcastle United, right? It's not. This is the biggest rivalry that they have. So, when Liverpool comes to Old Trafford, if they were to fold, then it would just be absolutely chaos in Manchester, right? But of course they show up, man. They showed up for this game. To be honest, throughout most of the game, if not all the game, they had Liverpool looking shaky, man. They had them kind of out of sorts. They were playing the ball well. Daniel James, he was getting just beat up during this game. But the dude kept on trucking, man. He gets up. He's quick on the ball. His assist to Marcus Rashford was absolute gold, man.
Yes.
And not to mention Marcus Rashford's run. Woo! Man, hey, look, all you young strikers out there, if you want to learn how to hit on a fast break, dude, watch this run. He is like a ghost, okay? He is like a ghost in here. He comes in near post and then he just fades out to that back post. Matip has no idea where he is. He's just wide open to be able to take that easy touch into the ball. He's running onto the ball. It's a beautiful goal by Marcus Rashford, assisted by Daniel James.
Oh, yeah, man. Beautiful goal, beautiful setup. Put Matip in the wash. It was pretty deserved at that time, I think. I think Liverpool obviously controlled a lot more of the possession than Man U, but Man U had their game plan.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Dude, I have to tell you that, frankly, if a few other players on Manchester United would have shown up a little bit better, I think they would have gotten this victory. Mainly, dude, Andreas Pereira, was not on his game, man. He definitely had a lot of times where he should have let go of the ball, or just many different options he could have taken and should have taken that maybe would have opened up more scoring opportunities for Manchester United. But he just didn't take them. He was on the ball a little bit extra, so to speak. And that definitely kind of stifled any of the attacks that he was a part of at that time. But hey, Manchester United definitely shows up at home. If it wasn't for a late, pretty fortunate goal from Adam Lallana coming on, for me, reaching the 80th minute as I'm watching this, I thought it was pretty much done. I didn't see Liverpool coming away with even a draw at that point in time. It just didn't seem like they had the... they weren't moving the ball the same as they usually do. They were shook, basically. If you want to look at it that way, man. They were at Old Trafford. They were shook. They weren't playing the same as they usually do. They came away with a draw with 1 point off a fortunate goal from Adam Lallana. And so, okay, fine. You got a point. Better than nothing, right? But definitely not what you want to be doing if you are looking to really widen the gap between the only other real competition that you're considering up at the top, at least for now, in Manchester City. Manchester City getting their win 2-0, that closes that gap. And now all of a sudden, all these... we've been talking about this from the beginning, but, all this talk about what is... Liverpool, like, oh, they're pulling away, they're 8 points ahead. Well, it's just like, dude, it's so early in the season.
Yeah. No, it is. Getting back to the match here with Man U and Liverpool, I was texting back and forth during the match with my good buddy Sam. I told him that, Manchester United is up for this game, and their pride's on the line, like I had stated to you, and that the human spirit cannot be quantified like skill, but things like passion, heart, and desire matter.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that's the thing. That's why these games aren't played on paper.
Mm-hmm.
My critique here is, if I can get on my rant here, get on the soapbox.
Do it.
And
I'm gonna sit back for a second.
Yes, of course. Who am I, obviously, to judge Jurgen Klopp? The man is phenomenal. He's very charismatic, great manager. He's brought a certain, desire.
Unity also.
Unity, fire to the club. He has a clear philosophy. And I think at times that plays to Liverpool's detriment in a little way, because you always know with Liverpool that they're going to set up in a 4-3-3. The starting 11 almost writes itself. And there doesn't seem to be like the good thing about him, with Jurgen Klopp in this match is that he actually went to his bench early. Mm-hmm. He obviously had to do something. They were losing 1-0, but there's never like you rarely, if ever, see like a tweak in the lineup or a formation change. Mm-hmm. Do something different that catches your opponent off guard. I mean, granted, it's been working, and Liverpool is only lost one match in 2 seasons so far, and so it's very hard to critique it because it's obviously working. But yeah, I just kind of feel like I
understand where you're coming from, though.
Manchester United was playing their game, doing their thing, and I don't feel like Liverpool.
It's like they didn't have a contingency plan.
Exactly.
It's like they didn't have a backup.
Yeah.
So, I remember that last season they did change it up for like a second. Do you remember this when they ran like a 4-2-3-1 and they had Bobby Firmino dropping into that like 10 spot, and then they had Shaqiri out on the wide right, and they had Mo Salah playing striker with Sadio Mane over on the left wing. And that changed it up for a second. I don't think it was as free flowing and as quality as the 4-3-3 for this lineup and this team can be. But I totally hear where you're coming from. It's like if you don't have something in your back pocket that can totally just flip the game on its head and give you just a total different way of approaching the game. I mean, yes, of course, it's working, like you said. So how can you really critique? Well, hey, we're here to critique. I mean, that's the thing. We're fans. That's what we're here to do. If we don't,
we're talking about it.
I mean, we're talking about it. That's what all the fans all across the world are going to be talking about. Okay, Northwest Derby goes down. Manchester United, they show up for this game. They show that they can draw Liverpool even in the form that they're in. So, what does that point to when Manchester City and Liverpool face off for the first time?
Yes. Well, I mean, if we're being honest, this has been coming for Liverpool for quite some time.
Yes.
The proof was kind of in the pudding. I mean, they had a penalty given to them to win the match against Leicester. They had a goalkeeping howler to get a point against, I believe that was Southampton.
No, Sheffield.
Sheffield United. Apologize. And, I mean, it's, like I had said before, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, but you can't rely on lucky to be good. It's like you actually have to be good if you're going to be, number one in this league.
Which they are. They've only lost one game.
Yes.
In the last 2 seasons. So again,
exactly.
It's really funny because you could just throw some shade on like these small, what we would consider like little nitpicky things maybe.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it is absolutely working what they're doing. It's just, it reminds me of just any other sport where you have some brand new rookie. Randy Moss comes to mind. Okay. So Randy Moss comes on the scene of the Minnesota Vikings and absolutely tears everyone down for a couple seasons. And then after that, everyone kind of at least knew the game plan. Now, could they stop him? Not necessarily, but they at least kind of could see what was coming and plan accordingly, and hopefully, they could get a result. Well, that's going to happen to Liverpool if they don't figure out different ways to approach the game. But you know what? We're saying this, and we have Jurgen Klopp at the head of Liverpool. I mean, this dude's probably thought about that for the last 2 years. He's probably been thinking like, okay, so I'm running my 4-3-3, and then once it starts looking a little stagnant, how am I going to mix it up? Of course he's been thinking about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, exactly. So exactly, it's hard to critique it. It's hard to place too much judgment on a form that's been out of this world. Mm-hmm. I mean, to be quite frankly,
out of this world, and a European championship, the UEFA Champions League Cup, but still not a Premier League champion title, right?
Yeah, exactly. Question question for you. What did you think about the call or non-call that led up to the Man U goal, the foul that was committed around
the kick on Divock Origi's leg.
Yes. Yeah. What did you think? Foul? No foul?
No foul. That's not foul for me.
I agree.
I mean, he got like touched on the knee and dude fell down. I mean, supporter or not, come on, dude. Like, it's not enough to bring you down like that. So
yeah, I didn't think it was a foul, and I also think stuff like that. It's like, okay, you still need to defend the counter better. Like, I mean, it's that, you had time to recover.
Yeah.
So I just can't. You can't. I feel like you can't take that away from Man U.
Well, you had time to recover. It's you did and you didn't. I mean, Daniel James is fast as hell, man. That dude was off down the wing like nobody's business. A couple of those touches they took, I didn't think he was going to get to them as fast as he did, and I thought there was going to be more time for them to recover. But the reality is Daniel James was hella fast, and we all know Marcus Rashford is fast as hell too. So when those two were breaking, and you got Joel Matip, who's not the fastest dude on the pitch, trying to keep up with Marcus Rashford's movement. And then you got, Robertson playing catch up with Daniel James, dude. Like, you're just not going to catch those two. I mean, It's got to be some magic going on there if you planned on stopping that, especially on top of the fact that it was one of the most quality crosses and one of the most quality finishes we've seen from Manchester United all season.
Yes,
like
definitely.
Without a doubt.
It was a stellar showing there for that sequence, and I think a point is fair. I guess when you really think about it, I mean, obviously your Man U supporter probably feels more like a loss,
right?
I mean, if you're a Liverpool supporter, I guess you're just happy to get a point. Because you definitely don't want the first loss of the season, your second loss in 2 seasons, to be
the Northwest Derby. Yeah, guaranteed. Yeah. Man, so, what bragging rights would that have been for Manchester United, man?
Yes.
So, we get into Matchday 10, and as we start talking about this, we're starting to see, what these teams are. I think that Matchday 10, we're going to be close to a third of the way through the season, okay? And I think this is a good marker right around Matchday 10, 11, something like that, where you can start kind of seeing at least like a possible trajectory for what may happen, at least kind of mid and lower table. Now, it can all change. It's still a long season, right? Like Manchester United, I don't expect them to stay down at 14th. I mean, you never know, but you can kind of at least see where people are going. Like Watford, take for instance, right? They're at the bottom of the table. They're at home against Bournemouth. But do you have any confidence that Watford's going to pull it out right now? No, you don't.
No.
Right? It's just not happening. Newcastle United's at home. They're playing Wolves. Do you think Newcastle United's going to win? I don't know. That seems like a little bit closer. Like maybe there might be a chance of a draw or something. But it still feels like Wolves are going to come away with the victory on the road.
I would agree.
Then, of course, you look at teams like Manchester City at home against Aston Villa. Now, this is a huge game for Aston Villa, but it's just like, man, hey, look, if Norwich could go in there and do something, then maybe who knows? But, dude, I mean, it feels like Manchester City is going to start getting their swag back here in a minute. And when they start doing that, they're going to just be running through fools real quick. Yeah. It feels like Aston Villa is going to be like the first on the chopping block, like hardcore. Man City comes away with they come away with a 2-0 victory last match day 9, but it feels like Aston Villa is about to take a spanking, bro.
Hey man, they already put up an 8 spot this year and a 5 spot.
That's right.
These score.
It's silly. Brighton Hove Albion home against Everton. That game is actually relatively interesting for both of these clubs, kind of duking it out for the mid-table position and staying out of relegation zone. And both of these teams have been playing relatively well lately. Everton coming away with just that previous victory, of course. And then also Brighton Hove Albion unfortunately losing to Aston Villa, but it was just an absolute, I mean, that game was, it was back and forth, man. It was a great game. And so there's no doubt that, Brighton Hove Albion, they're still there. They're still there to play, right? I mean, they came off a victory against Tottenham. And, hey, Tottenham's on a whole different story, but Brighton's there. They're going to do something. I think that Brighton-Everton game is going to be pretty fun. You have West Ham United home against Sheffield United. And, man, I don't know if West Ham wants to see Sheffield right now, bro.
No.
You don't want to see them?
I don't think they do.
I don't think they do. You got Burnley at home against Chelsea. Chelsea right now in 8th place. Burnley in 8th place. Chelsea, of course, doing their Chelsea business. So we'll see how that one ends up. I think Chelsea comes away with the victory there. We'll see. Do you think Christian Pulisic gets his first goal this week?
I'm just hoping he starts.
Yeah, I am too. No doubt.
I mean, I really don't know, man.
So hypothetically, he starts. Does he get his first goal? If he starts?
Sure, why not?
All right, I'm with you. If he starts, we're going to say Captain America all the way. Let's see. We have Southampton hosting Leicester. I mean, not looking good for Southampton right now. Leicester's in some good form. That's negative. Yeah, Leicester's in some good form right now. Let's see. We have Norwich hosting Manchester United. So this one's really interesting to me because it's like, okay, so Manchester United's at home and they come away with a 1-1 draw against Liverpool in the Northwest Derby. And now you're on the road against Norwich. But I just feel like I don't know what's going to happen still. It's really weird.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You're right. Because
most of the time I'd feel... Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just going to basically finish your sentence. Most of the time you'd say Man U would wipe the floor with them, but that's not the case anymore.
No, it's like... is Timo Pukki going to show up and score a hat trick on Manchester? No, just kidding.
Right.
But I mean, hey, man, you just never know right now. Norwich is down low on the table, so they're not necessarily performing the best over the course of the last couple weeks. But neither really has Manchester United. I mean, they showed up, they had heart, they had passion, they got the point at home against Liverpool, of course, as we've been discussing. But now you go onto the road, and it feels like almost, this is kind of weird to say, but it almost feels like if you're a Manchester United supporter, this game is almost in a lot of ways more important. Like you come off this 1-1 draw, are you going to be able to keep it going? Are you going to be able to, actually show up like you're supposed to as Manchester United? Or does this become dropping right back into that chaos and confusion that's been going on?
It's hard to see this season not continue to be a struggle for Man U.
I would agree.
Yeah, I just don't see how they're going to catch fire. No?
Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, I know Anthony Martial was back on the bench. And
where is Paul Pogba?
Dude, where is Paul Pogba? That's a good question. Why don't you look into that real quick? And so while you're looking into that, one of the bigger games on the slate for this weekend, Sunday, the 27th of October, will be Liverpool at home against Spurs. And so, Anfield, you got Tottenham coming in. They're not in the best form right now against Premier League opposition. I mean, it doesn't look good for Spurs. I don't know what's been going on with Spurs right now either. I don't know. It just continues to get weird. We're not really necessarily going to be going over this and talking about this in detail But I will say they did come away with a Champions League victory that was quite convincing, so I'm sure that felt good for them. But now you're back in the Premier League. You're facing Liverpool, the number one team in the Premier League right now. And you're also on the road at Anfield. And, dude, everyone knows no one wants to play at Anfield. The place is a fortress right now, man.
No. And Paul Pogba is injured. He's got his foot's in a cast.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's not that I knew there was an injury. I didn't know what exactly was going on. Mm-hmm. What's the outlook on that? Does it say?
It does not say right now. He's in a boot right now. It looks like Real Madrid's going to end their pursuit of him and go after Mbappe.
Oh, well. So says who? Some magical oracle in the sky?
Yes, the Lucky Charm
the Lucky Charm oracle. All right, very good. So, we got a good slate of games, full slate of games here this weekend. It starts on Friday the 25th with Southampton hosting Leicester, and it goes all the way through Sunday. Liverpool and Spurs are going to be the main game, and of course we have Arsenal hosting Crystal Palace.
Dude, are they going to be up for that? I mean, are they going to get up for that? Dude, Arsenal. Stop Arsenaling.
Huh? Dude, okay, this is for fifth place. I mean, Arsenal's in fifth and Crystal Palace is in sixth place. They're separated by 1 point. This is a big game, man. This is a very big game. London rivals. Bro. Keep your eye on that one, man. Keep your eye on that one. We'll see. I don't know. What do you think? Arsenal's at home. You think they got it?
I'm going to say no.
Dang. You going to say a dry? Or you taking Crystal Palace, for the win?
Yeah.
Wait, hold up. We got to start writing these down.
Yeah.
I'm going to write these down real quick. All right, so you got, let's see. All right, so you're looking at Southampton, Leicester. Who you got?
Leicester all day. Let's do 3-1. Leicester.
3-1. Okay. City, Aston Villa. It's hard not to go 5, right?
Ye old 5-0 scoreline.
5-0, yeah. I can't argue with that, dude. I cannot argue with that. Brighton, Everton.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go with a 1-1 draw.
Okay, I like that. I think I'm gonna pull for Brighton at home. 2-1. I'm gonna say 2-1 at home. Okay, let's see. We got Watford, Bournemouth. I'm gonna go Bournemouth 2-0.
I'll go Bournemouth 2-1.
2-1. All right, you got West Ham hosting Sheffield.
Sheffield 1-0.
1-0. I'm gonna say 2-1 Sheffield.
All right,
and then Burnley, Chelsea.
Chelsea 3-1.
Ooh, putting a 3 spot up. All right. I'm gonna say 2-0 Chelsea.
Okay.
No goals for Burnley.
No so
for you. Newcastle hosting Wolves.
I'm gonna go with Wolves 2-0.
2-0. Man, you know what? I'm gonna give Newcastle a draw. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 1-1 draw.
Okay.
Let's see. Arsenal hosting Crystal Palace.
I already gave you my prediction on that one.
Yes. You said 2-1, yeah?
Yes.
Dang, man, What's that?
No, I was just saying run the tape back. I don't remember. I believe I said 2-1.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace.
I'm gonna say it's a draw. I'm gonna say it's 2-2. 2-2.
Yeah, that's fair.
Norwich hosting Manchester United.
Let's go with a 0-0 draw.
Oh, gross, dude. I'm gonna give it to Manchester United. I think they come away with a victory. I think they feel pretty good about themselves after the draw with Liverpool, even though it was a little unlucky. I think they outplayed Liverpool overall, and so
yeah,
I'm gonna go 2-0 United. And then finally, last but not least, man, Liverpool.
Interesting.
Liverpool Spurs. In Anfield, at Anfield, bro. I'm going to say it's going to be... dude, I'm going to be straight up. I'm going to say it's going to be 3-0 Pool.
Go 2-0 Pool.
2-0 to the Pool. All right, sounds good. Quick review of those tables, and then we'll get into the MLS playoffs. Liverpool currently at the top spot, first place, 25 points. You have Manchester City, 6 points behind them with 19. You have Leicester City in third place with 17 points, ahead of Chelsea on goal differential. Chelsea also has 17 points. Arsenal currently at fifth place with 15 points, and Crystal Palace with 14 right behind them, and Tottenham down here with 12 points, tied with Burnley and Sheffield and Bournemouth and West Ham right now. I mean, it's crazy to be talking about Tottenham in that company, but that's where they are. And, you know, all those teams are ahead of Manchester United with 10 points right now at 14th. So, I mean, the middle of the table is up for grabs, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see what kind of craziness goes on. Exciting stuff for sure. You have anything else you want to put in on there before we get into the MLS?
No, sir. MLS.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's talk about these playoffs that just went down. You know, this is the first season of this new format where you have 7 teams per conference. The highest seed team gets the bye and automatic second round, which on respective sides is, of course, LAFC on the west and NYCFC in the east. The first game that went down was Atlanta United hosting the New England Revolution. And as we had kind of discussed a little bit before, you know, Atlanta United comes up with the victory against the Revs. A lot of people were wondering whether or not this was going to be able to happen with the Revolution kind of coming off like some pretty good stuff. And I don't know, dude. I
think you got most of your predictions right from last week.
I believe I did. But Atlanta
I
coming
know
away
I
with
had
that
New
win.
England.
Yeah, you did take New England. Atlanta comes away with that victory. Yeah, didn't happen. But you know what? They played a close game. They did play a close game, so it wasn't wasn't a total blowout or anything. So Atlanta moving on to the next round. Atlanta will be facing. Well, we'll go over that in a minute because we didn't get to that game yet. Okay, so Seattle Sounders taking on FC Dallas. That was a crazy game.
Was crazy
game. Back and forth, 7 goals in total. Seattle Sounders pulling out the victory 4-3. I mean,
I've got to point out in that match. I don't remember. Is it Acosta? The guy was streaking down the right side. Mm-hmm. He had a teammate streaking down the left side with him. He, bro, pass the ball.
Dude was wide open too. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And then he skies it.
Yeah,
not even on frame,
bro.
Like, dude, like so sinful.
It's unforgivable,
sinful,
man.
bro.
Stuff like that is unforgivable, man. Like you gotta pick your head up and just touch the ball across the 18-yard box.
How did his teammates not lose their minds, man?
I don't know, man.
That's the thing that stands out from that match, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, that was late in the game, and I think the match was in the balance. I think FC Dallas could have won it.
Yeah.
I'm
pretty sure you're correct, and FC Dallas pays the price, and I guarantee you, people were not patting that dude on the back in the locker room.
I mean,
when you sit back and if you were to be FC Dallas and rewatch the tape, like there's like one moment that's going to stick out like a sore thumb, and that would be it.
Yeah, I'll say something here after we conclude this round, but go ahead. Right. That was the one thing that really stuck out to me in that match.
I got you. Okay, so
other than Jordan Morris having that hat trick.
Yeah, he got a hat trick, which is pretty crazy in and of itself. Like, what?
He sounds kind of ho-hum about it. Yeah, hat trick.
Yeah. So Toronto FC 5-1. 5-1 over DC United. Toronto FC shows up.
Yeah. So DC United just absolutely imploded in extra time. Like, I don't even know.
They're like, happened. No, we're losing Rooney.
Yeah, it was almost like they threw a tantrum.
It was crazy, man.
Dude, Nick De Leon, his goal, like the one that put him up 5. Oh, dude. Sweet hit, bro.
Yeah,
and he's the one that scored for them last season for DC United. He played for them a long time.
Yep.
And he scored a nice goal last season. A banger last season. And then he scores one again against his former team. I'm like, dude. I mean, to be honest, a lot of the Toronto goals were really class in DC United. And I don't know. Let me get your thoughts, man. What do you think of Wayne Rooney's tenure?
I mean, I think it was fun. It was like a fun run. It almost, you know what it reminds me of, man? It reminds me of Stevie G in the Galaxy. Like, in a way. Like, he comes over, he does his thing, and then he's kind of done. That's honestly kind of how it felt for me. I mean, Wayne Rooney definitely scored some amazing goals. He definitely, obviously, will never forget that assist against Orlando City. Yeah, all that stuff goes down. He definitely, there's some glory in what he did. But at the same time, man, he was only here for a very short time. I think that if he would have stuck around for a little longer, he might have made a bigger impact, and you'd remember the name longer. Guys like David Villa come into mind of big players that came over. They stuck with their squad. They made their squad better. They did absolutely, a lot of things for their team, and they were around for a while. But
no trophies.
No trophies, though. No trophies.
Kaká, Bastian Schweinsteiger.
Nope.
Who's also obviously done retiring.
Yep.
Yeah, man, it's interesting to see where DC United goes from here. Because, I mean, like with New England Revolution, I think they're in good hands right now. Bruce Arena did a great job of turning them around and getting them to the playoffs. But DC United, Ben Olsen, I don't know, man. I like Benny a lot, but it might be time to turn the page for them. And I don't know where they go forward right now, because it looks like, to be honest, Wayne Rooney's out, obviously. And, dude, when Luciano Costa, when he didn't get his transfer to PSG or wherever he was linked to, I believe it was PSG, if I'm not mistaken, everything went south for him.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't even in the match, and DC United somewhere they lost steam.
Yeah,
and I
definitely.
Guess to a certain degree they were surprising to be in the playoffs, and I don't know where they're going from here.
Well, that'll be definitely something to keep an eye on for the next season, man, because DC United after it was, when Rooney came to DC United, he essentially sparked that turnaround too.
Yeah, that's true.
And so that was a big ups to Rooney also coming back and really taking DC United from really the depths and the cellar all the way to a team that's in the playoffs. Now, obviously, their final performance was not one you want to remember if you're a DC United supporter, but hey, it is what it is. So 5-1, Toronto gets the win. Moving on, Real Salt Lake at home against Portland. Portland was the runner-up last year's playoffs against Atlanta, and they fall to Salt Lake in Salt Lake. I mean, I'm telling you, Salt Lake at home, man.
Yeah, so they're very, very good at home, and they're tough out.
They are
in the playoffs.
Sure. I got that one wrong. I thought Portland was going to come away with a win, so I was wrong on that one.
Yeah, I mean, you wanted to see the Cascadia rematch there in the playoffs. I totally understand it. Yeah, man, it seems like Savarese got it wrong here. I think Valeri came off the bench. I think he's got a knock, but it just seemed like, once again, Portland, like, same with DC United, like, I think they just kind of lost some of that steam, and it just wasn't good enough, obviously. And now you're looking to next season. I think they're obviously in a more promising position than DC United, but yeah, Real Salt Lake moving on.
There you go.
Romano keeps the career
trucking.
alive, at least for one more match.
Keeps trucking. Yep. Sunday, 2 big games, man. Philadelphia Union getting the win against New York Red Bulls.
Another crazy game.
Dude, another 7-goal game, 4-3, Philadelphia Union at home. I mean...
Dude, New York Red Bulls was in control at one point.
Control. Totally crazy, man. I thought, you know what, as soon as I turned on the game and New York was looking like they were just going to take it to Philly at first.
Yeah.
But somehow, man, Philadelphia kept fighting back, kept coming back. And then finally, late in the game, somehow they come away with... I don't know, man. This is crazy. I don't even know. Like, I kind of don't even know how to... Marco Fabian scores the game-winning goal. Like, really? Come on.
Yeah, it was ridiculous goal. It looked like it took a deflection and it hits the crossbar, like grazes it and goes in.
I mean, Fabian was supposed to be, at the beginning of the season, we were talking about how, hey, it's another big Mexican star coming over. Hopefully we see something, see Philadelphia kind of getting a pump from him. But honestly, like, he was pretty quiet all season. But him coming on, getting what he gets, it is what it is. But dude, just back and forth, it's 2-0. Alejandro Bedoya scores. Now it's 2-1. Red Bulls score again. So now it's 3-1. You're like, dude, when I was watching it at that point in time, I was like, all right, this is out of reach. Jack Elliott scores. Okay, it's 3-2. Well, maybe it's not out of reach. 78th minute. Pico scores.
Yeah.
Now we're tied up. I'm like, what? And then, of course, the final goal.
Was ridiculous.
So, they come away with the win, dude. They fought back. They kept it going. There it is.
Yeah, man, I'm going to say this right now. Red Bulls, along with FC Dallas, New England Revolution, these are 3 of the charter clubs of the league. Obviously, New York Red Bulls were the New York Metro Stars, and FC Dallas was the Dallas Burn at one time.
Mm-hmm.
We are now, what are we looking at? Almost 25 years, right? About 23 seasons or so of soccer in Major League Soccer, and there's no cups for those clubs. MLS Cup, no stars above the crest where it matters. I mean, they have supporter shields or U.S. Cups of the like. But yeah, they're still searching, man. Still searching. And New York Red Bulls, they can't. Playoffs, man. Just
Playoffs.
Just elusive for them. It's so metro, as they say.
Yep. It's really you gotta be upset if you're a New York Red Bulls supporter. But
yeah,
hey, man,
you feel like you had that one,
dude. You did have that one. You didn't feel like you had that one. You actually had that one, and you let it slip. So it is what it is. That's how it goes. Philadelphia Union move on, and then of course, hey man, the LA Galaxy come away with the 2-1 victory over Minnesota United in Minnesota. Thoughts on the game itself? Let's start there before we get into El Trafico and the other games.
I think I told you before the match it was interesting lineup by Guillermo.
Totally interesting. The back line was like, what's happening right now?
4 center backs on the back line.
Yep.
Joe Corona, MIA. Perry Kitchen comes.
Perry Kitchen gets a start in the playoffs just out of nowhere. Where's this dude coming from?
Dude, it was like he came out of the bathroom while Guillermo was doing the team selection, and he was like, you know what? Yeah, you. I'm going to put you in there. To be honest with you, Minnesota United had some chances early on that they did not bury.
Correct.
And this match could have been completely different.
Totally different.
I kind of feel like Minnesota United to a certain degree had the yips. It's like, it's their first playoff match in front of that home crowd, playing the Galaxy. The Galaxy in the end, they did enough. They did enough. The defense was able to keep it together. Even though I think Gonzalez was probably a little lost being out there at left back, right back. I don't remember what side he was playing on. And it's like, it worked. They got the W. They're moving on. And all
I know is I don't want to see that lineup for the next match. But I think that's what Schelotto was planning.
Exactly. I think he was kind of holding it. I think he's holding his cards close to the vest here. But dude, Jonah.
Oh, dude, his goal was sick. His goal was so nasty, dude.
What a hit, bro! For everything that the frustrations of Giovanni Dos Santos, his brother Jonathan Dos Santos has been. He's been
a rock.
He's been a rock of late. He's been phenomenal. The guy, it was touch and go there a little bit to start his career with the Galaxy, and there was obviously his brother and the controversy and all that. But right now, him and Zlatan, if they're not in the team, Galaxy are like nowhere near the playoffs.
Oh, guaranteed, man. Guaranteed. Yeah. But let me say this also. Dude, you know what? I was impressed about this game for the Galaxy. Not only the fact that somehow they only let 1 goal in because the defense is just garbage. But other than the fact that happened, first of all, I think that Zlatan played really poorly in this game. He gave the ball away many times with some pretty bad touches, bad passes.
Without question.
But the Galaxy still got the win. That's what is impressive.
Yes.
Legit coming away with a goal, an important goal, and of course, as you said, Jonah Dos Santos with that absolute banger.
Sebastian's goal is the classic being in the right place at the right
Correct.
time, following the play through, poacher goal, however you want to say it.
It was beautiful. He made a late run.
That's one of your goals.
Absolutely. I love scoring goals like that. Those are the easiest, bro. The ball's just sitting right there. You just run onto it and tap it in, dude. It's the best. But,
Easy lemon squeeze.
That's right. So 2-1 victory over there. That sets up the most glorious game in MLS history as far as I'm concerned. I know that's a big statement,
No,
but
no
anyways,
hyperbole here.
let's go ahead and let's get into this next round of playoff games and what this is setting up. You have 8 teams left now, and over in the East, you have the number 1 seed New York City FC hosting Toronto FC. Dude, that's a game, bro.
Dude, note about this match, it will not be played at Yankee Stadium. Or I guess maybe there's anticipation of the Yankees being in the World Series.
City Field.
They're going to be playing at Citi Field. They're going to be playing where the Mets play. And I don't know that it's going to have any bearing on the match. I know they've played there before. New York City FC has.
Just get your own stadium, dude. Come on, folks.
So, speaking of the match itself, though, pressure on New York City FC. I mean, you're the best team in the East. You're at home. But you're going to be playing against a Toronto team that's no joke.
Dude, Toronto right now is heating up at the right time in the East. No doubt. Toronto, right now for me, Toronto and Atlanta are the 2 teams in the East you don't want to see. And NYCFC, first of all, not even having a home. That's not really a good situation. And then you have Toronto FC coming into town after a 5-1 shellacking of DC United late in the game. Toronto's going to be feeling good. So, dude, I don't know, man. It's actually hard to pick against Toronto right now, even though NYCFC is the top seed.
Yeah. I mean, we're going to see what New York City FC is made in this match for sure.
That is
if
correct.
They've got champions metal to get through this. I don't know. My mind says New York City FC, but my heart says Toronto. I'm really torn in this matchup.
Well, I'll just pull the trigger first. I'm going to take Toronto. Shout out to Sean Rubio. Woot woot.
All right. Well, I will play counter, and I will take New York City FC.
There we go. Okay. In the West, this is Wednesday, October 23rd, by the way. If you are listening to this, it's happening tonight, if this is Wednesday that you're listening to this. Seattle Sounders, Real Salt Lake. Now...
go ahead. Are you taking this one first?
Well, I was just going to say, man, this one also is a very strange situation for me, too. Because Real Salt Lake right now, they feel like a wild card. They feel like a joker. Like, you just don't know what you're going to get. It seems like...
I like that.
It seems like they're definitely solid, obviously. They come away with this at-home victory. But can they do something like that on the road in Seattle? And then at the same time, Seattle just came off of giving up 3 goals at home against an FC Dallas team. So... I mean, look, in the end, I'm going to take Seattle because Seattle at home, I can't really see Salt Lake coming away with an upset like that. But I do think that Salt Lake is going to come in and at least give Seattle Sounders a hard time.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. I kind of see the match playing out the same way. I'm going to take Seattle as well because they're at home,
right
up there.
Dude, if it was flipped and they were in Salt Lake, dude, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's true, and that is where positioning matters. How you do in the regular season, determining if you're getting that home match or you're going away.
Yep. I totally agree, and I think that's what this is going to come down to, home field advantage, and I think Seattle comes away with the victory because of it. Thursday night, man, 2 big games going down in Thursday night. Atlanta United FC hosting Philadelphia Union. Dude, I mean, again, Atlanta United seems like they're hitting the switches at the right time. But that being said, man, Philadelphia Union are coming off a comeback victory. I mean, it shows that they got guts. It shows that they got heart. They didn't give up. They came away with a win. But damn, quite frankly, they're going to get stomped by Atlanta as far as I'm concerned.
A-Town, stop.
Like, I can't see any possible way that Philly's going to come away with the win here, dude. I say that a lot somehow, but no, dude.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. My heart kind of feels like you want to go for Philly because they feel like the underdog. But
dude,
yeah,
Atlanta's wrecked.
Moment, and it just feels like they'll get wrecked, especially what happened against the Red Bull. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go with you and take Atlanta.
Yeah. But look, the time we've all been waiting for, folks. I mean, seriously, this is like, look, I don't care if you watch the MLS or not, okay? So if you don't even follow the MLS, fine. But please, if you're still listening to this podcast right now and you've made it through all this MLS talk, please sit down on Thursday night and get yourself a little meal together, or order yourself a pizza. Get yourself a couple brews if you want, if that's your thing.
Little brewskis.
And at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, you are going to get to witness the very first ever playoff edition of El Trafico.
Dude, man, it gives me like goosebumps just thinking about it right now. Like I'm geeked up, man. I'm telling you, man. Like I hate to put this out there because it's gonna go on wax. Everyone's gonna know, but like my brother is gonna be coming into town, and it's is one of his daughters. I'm gonna be missing my niece's birthday party.
I ain't hating on you at all. You're a true man. That's what I have to say about it. Look, dude. Quite frankly, man, there are very, very, very few things in this world that would keep me away from watching this game. Very few things. And you know what? A niece is definitely not one of those things. I love my family and everything, but damn, come on.
And the worst uncle of the year award to Eric D. Thank you.
Nah, forget that, dude. I'm gonna say best Galaxy fan that I know personally award goes to Eric D. But look, man, El Trafico is going down. LAFC hosting LA Galaxy. Dude, look, every single game that these guys have played so far has been absolute, like a dream of match, okay?
Dude, it's blockbuster.
Blockbuster match, dream goals, like everything. Like, as you cannot ask for anything more glorious in the beginning of a rivalry than what they have going on right now.
It is must-see TV. It is... like, if you don't watch any other MLS match all year, this is the match you need to be watching.
This is the one. Because, look, for as bad as the LA Galaxy defense is, for as crazy and weird as the whole situation going on with the LA Galaxy is, and for as good as LAFC has shown that they are, and, you know, the incredible season by Carlos Vela, Bob Bradley has this team humming right now. They're looking absolutely amazing. They're Supporters' Shield winners by far and away. Best season points-wise in the history of the MLS. You know, record-setting goal scorer in Carlos Vela. Yet, they have not beat their crosstown rivals in LA Galaxy. And LA Galaxy is coming to town right now. And I should say, coming to your home, you know. Is it? They're in the same town.
It is their town.
Yeah, right? Man. Right now, this is the LA Galaxy's town, bro. This is like, if LAFC does not put away the Galaxy right now, I don't even know. Dude, if LAFC does not put away the Galaxy, it is like, okay, 100% pressure is on LAFC right now.
Oh, yeah.
By the way.
No doubt.
Dude, if the Galaxy lose this game, it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, we lost to easily one of the best MLS teams that's ever played.
Yeah.
So, okay, fine. if it goes the other way and the LA Galaxy pull out a victory against LAFC at Bank of California Stadium, I don't know. Let me just say this. If I was a Galaxy fan at that game, I would be very careful while I was leaving.
Yes, I agree with you. Sadly, that is a case,
and that's for real. I'm not like just joking about that. Like
yes, I totally understand and I agree with you. There is so much on the line in this match. The psychological weight of this match for LAFC. To you just had this great season. There are people that are saying that you are the best MLS team of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be going up against your crosstown rival.
That you haven't beat.
That your supporters absolutely hate, and our supporters absolutely hate you. And you've never beat them. You're at home. It's the playoffs. Like, if you lose this match, your season's over, and all you have to think about is what just happened. You lost to your
all you
rival.
have to do is you're going to wake up every night and see fucking Zlatan's goddamn face in your head, dude. That's what's going to happen.
That's Tyler Miller.
Well,
he's already had.
Dude, I mean, that's
is
very
that
true.
guy going to start? Is Tyler Miller going to start goal?
Does he even want to see Zlatan right now?
Does he even want to start? Does he see his name on the team sheet? No, Bob, sorry.
Dude, listen. All I know is when it comes down to it, I am so geeked up for this, just like you are. I cannot wait. Thursday night, man, 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific. I mean,
dude, I'm telling you, I've told you this. My nerves are already fried. Like, I don't know how. Like, I've had a hard time watching. The first one was like everything was new. LAFC jumped on them, from the get go, and then the unbelievable comeback, right? And Zlatan's goal to equalize was ridiculous, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like every match has been building, and this last match that we had with them, like I told you, like I just couldn't deal, man. I couldn't hang. I was almost standing the whole match watching it, and like this is gonna just take it to like another level,
dude. The only thing that can get any more crazy than this is if they meet in the Western Conference Finals. But other than that, this is as big as it gets.
Well, yeah, no. The only other thing that tops this would be if it ever happened, like a Boca River thing. If they ever met in the CONCACAF Champions League final, then that would top it.
That would be crazy.
Oh, it would be crazy. But I'm telling you, man, as you can see, like, I don't get that worked up or that emotional about a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about. But when I talk about this match, it's like...
It's visceral, bro.
It's visceral. It's visceral. It's all of that, man. You can feel it, man. You can feel it. And I haven't been to a match yet, but you can feel it in the stadium, coming through your TV. I can only imagine how it is in person. I know a bunch of people that are going, and it's going to be great, man. It's going to be a spectacle, and hopefully we're treated to another great game, which I think we're going to be. And
I think we will.
I don't know, man. How are you seeing this happen? How are you seeing it go down?
No, you asked me first, Dale. I see how it is.
Yes. Yes. I had to get the quick jump, man. I had to do it. To get on you first.
I mean, look, this is another one of those situations, like you were saying. If I'm being straight, my head says LAFC and my heart says the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you got LAFC at home. Again, just based on merit of their performance over the season, all things point to LAFC finally getting the monkey off the back, so to speak.
Yeah. I mean, right? It's got to come eventually, right? It's going to happen, right?
But you know what? Then, as we said earlier regarding the Northwest Derby and Manchester United and Liverpool, look, man, there are certain things that cannot be measured. And this is why the game is not played on paper.
Yes. Man.
And when the LA Galaxy and LAFC face each other, the LA Galaxy show up in a different way than they do the entire rest of the season, basically, man.
Yeah, it's like they're just like some other team.
It's crazy. And it doesn't matter if it's at home or away. That's the crazy thing, too. The Galaxy show up when it's at Bank of California, too, and it's been proven. It's not just like, you're at...
It's not flukish.
Yeah, it's not flukish.
Yeah.
It's happened multiple times now. And LAFC has not been able to beat the Galaxy.
Dude, can you imagine if this game went to penalties?
Dude, I actually... Look, that's how it's feeling for me right now. I was just going to say... I think... Okay, I'll just say it, okay? I think it goes to penalties.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I don't care. The Galaxy win in penalties, bro. I said it. It's so stupid.
I don't.
It's so stupid. I don't even know why I would say something like that. It's so far-fetched, but I don't even care. I'm just going with it. Because that's what I want to see. Like, I want to see the drama that goes down to that. Like, it doesn't... Like, as a sports fan, those are the moments that you watch and you live for. If it goes to penalties... You know what? Frankly, either way, if it goes, Galaxy win or LAFC wins. If it goes to penalties, those penalties are going to be some of the most heart-stopping moments that, as a fan of either one of these clubs, and actually, honestly, like even if you're not a fan of the clubs, if you just watched the game and it went to that, you would have to be dead inside to not be feeling something seriously emotional going on at that, man.
Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with you, man. It's everything why you play or want to be a part of something like this, because it's just that's I don't know, the feelings that it brings up is just that you feel like you're alive. And man, I'm just like you, man. I obviously my heart's with the G's all the way. Mm-hmm. You feel like LAFCs do.
Mm-hmm. You really do.
There's the superior team.
Yep.
But man, I don't know what it is, man. When they play against the G's right now, it's been it's not like they haven't had their run. They haven't had any luck. They've scored. They just can't get the dub.
They just can't finish.
They can't finish. It's mental. It's mental, man. I'm telling you, it's mental. That's the psychological hump is what they'll have to get over on Thursday night if they're going to beat the G's.
Okay, so and here's one thing that's crazy about this game before we wrap this up, okay? One thing that is totally crazy about this game to me is, as you were saying before, Schelotto holding his cards close to the chest, man. Look, honestly, I have no idea what lineup is going to come out on Thursday night. Because of what they just put out. Like, you don't know who's going to be in the midfield. I mean, if Perry Kitchen is playing in the midfield in your first playoff game and you got a back line of 4 center backs, anything is possible at this point, right? Alessandrini comes off the bench in the last game. Is Alessandrini going to get a stop? Is he going to get a start?
We didn't even talk about Drini. Bro, did you hear his comments? He was like, man, I love this game. I want to play. I love this city. Like, dude, he's ready, bro. Oh my gosh! Dude.
I think he's gonna get a start, dude. Does he get the start? Okay.
Can you imagine Pavone and Drini, left, right, slot?
Well, okay. So what'll end up happening if we're gonna speculate? Okay, is I'm gonna say up to at least working from the top. Obviously, you got Zlatan up there as the number 9. Okay, on the right wing, I think that you're going to have Alessandrini. On the left wing, I think you're going to have Antuna. As the 10, I think you're going to have Pavone. And then behind those two, you might have Leggett and Dos Santos.
Oh, okay.
So playing like a 4-2-3-1 with Leggett and Dos Santos trying to hold down the middle. And then you got Pavone supporting that attack, and you have Drini and Antuna making those blazing runs up the side, and then you just got big ass Zlatan hanging out in the middle waiting for anything that comes.
I like it.
Now, the back line, who fucking knows what's going on? Just total toss
All right.
up.
Yeah, so we're going to put Alvarez, Carrasco, all our players that have never played defense.
Picking names out of the hat, dude. Who knows, dude? But anyway, look, Thursday night, folks, tune in, watch it, don't miss this, okay? Just don't miss it. You're going to be... It's on ESPN, folks. Just do the thing. Watch the thing. So, by all accounts for us, basically what we're saying is, I'm saying Toronto's going through and they're going to play Atlanta. You're saying NYCFC is going through to play Atlanta.
Yeah.
In the West, we're both taking Seattle to move on, and I'm taking the Galaxy right now. I assume that you're doing the same thing because you can't go against the Galaxy right now.
I don't have a choice.
You physically cannot do that.
I can't. You know, even though, it feels
physically,
like
mentally,
it's gotta
you can't
happen
do it.
eventually. But
so we're saying that LA Galaxy are going to meet the Seattle Sounders in the conference finals, and the nightmare is going to continue, so to speak, for LAFC. But it's all to be played, man. It's all to be played. It's all there. And so we're going to see it tonight. If you're listening to this on Wednesday, October 23rd, tonight is the next round of the playoffs, okay? The first set of matches. NYCFC Toronto on FS1 at 6 p.m. 7 p.m. Eastern, okay? Seattle Sounders taking on Real Salt Lake, also on FS1. It starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, okay, 7 Pacific. And then, of course, Thursday night, the 24th, Atlanta United FC hosting Philadelphia Union. That's 8 p.m. Eastern. And then 10:30 p.m. Eastern, LAFC hosting the LA Galaxy. El Trafico Playoff Edition, Volume number 1, baby. All right, folks. You know what? As always, enjoy those games.
G's up.
G's up. Don't hate.
Don't hate.
Ooh.